Hello and welcome. This is Jennifer and I'm so glad you're here. Today's video is jam-packed with a ton of information. I have lots of new and exciting products to share with you. I have a technique to share with you and several cards and loads of ideas. So this video is a close look at the newest release from Simon Says Stamp that is kicking off the month of Stamptember. This entire month is celebrating stamping, and it starts with today, where Simon releases their branded products, a big release, and I'm going to show it all to you along with lots of ideas. Now, throughout the month, they will also have blog hops and giveaways and other celebrations. And almost every day, they release a collaboration stamp that was designed in collaboration with a stamp company that we know and love, like Gina K or Hero Arts. And I'll use some of those throughout the month too. But today is all about the Simon Says Stamp branded release. Now, there are a lot of products, so this will be a longer video, but I will show you the products, give you a little size reference, and also share ideas for using it. Towards the end, I will share a simple but really cool technique and some cards. Also, throughout the video, I will share sneak peeks of my cards coming up in my next video, a really fun technique video using today's products. So please bear with me here. I will have links to the products and any videos I mentioned below. So if I mention a video technique would be good with a certain product, I'll have that video linked right below that product in the description. The description doesn't allow me to share everything, so I will also make a link to the entire list of products. It'll show all the thumbnails and the pictures, and that might be easier to check from. So that will be linked below too. Okay, let's get started because we have a lot to share, and I am excited to start with Simon Says Stamp's new line of inks. These are called Simon Says Stamp Saturated Inks. This is a dye ink pad that dries very quickly and smooth. It's also water reactive, so you can do watercoloring with it. And there are 15 colors to start with. I'll give you a closer look at them in a moment, and they are gorgeous. Now, these are foam ink pads. The other Simon Says Stamp dye ink that's been out for a long time is a felt or firm pad. This is a foam pad, and I'll talk about how you want to stamp with these. I did not like foam pads in the past, but I found that they've gotten better over time, and in the past year or so, I've been liking them more and more. Let's take a closer look at the colors because they are beautiful. There are 5 color families and a light, medium, and dark available in each family, thus 15 different pads. Here we have Cheeky, Blush, and Pucker, beautiful coral colors. And notice that light, medium, and dark, and they are a great match, a great little family of coral colors. Next, we have Peachy, Grapefruit, and Mandarin. This is more of an orange. And look how solid and crisp these stamped. And I didn't have to do any kind of special trick to do that. It just stamped beautifully. For yellows, we have Lemonade, Sunbeam, and Citrine. The Sunbeam in the middle there, such a beautiful, perfect yellow. Okay, for greens, very happy colors of green, we have Celery, Limelicious, and Perfection. And here's a good example, that light, medium, and dark, and how they really, truly do go together well. And then finally, the beautiful pool colors. Here we have Seafoam, Surf, and Ocean. And by the way, these are available in full-size ink pads, not in minis at this time. So here is a look at all of the colors in this collection. You can see it's a beautiful assortment. If you like happy colors like me, these are definitely something to consider. I really like that there is the light, medium, and dark, and that they really go together very well. It truly is a great match. So I created these ink swatches using a download that I have over on my blog, and I will link to that below. It's a free download where you can print your own swatches and stamp them. And we've recently updated all of the downloads, so be sure to check that out. This one will be included. Here you can see how well these stamp, just one impression, beautiful, solid results. And you'll see some more stamping later in this video. Okay, now let's dive into dies, and then I'll do stamps and stencils and themed collections, hot foil plates, and more. But I'm starting with dies because these are my favorite. First up, we have 2 happy birthday dies. On the card there, we have the large happy birthday. Then the layered happy birthday is called Big Happy Birthday. Now that blue piece of cardstock on my desk there, that is 4¼ by 5½ inches, so you can get a size reference and what these look like on a typical A2 card. Now that layered happy birthday will definitely be one that I use a lot. They had a thanks of that I use all the time, and I'm excited that now there is a happy birthday. Now the video I have coming out tomorrow uses that die. Here's a peek at it. So just stay tuned for that. That comes out on the 2nd and has a really cool alcohol ink technique. I just wanted to include these images in today's video so you could get an idea of what these products look like on actual cards. Next we have the Chunky Thankful die set. This has the shadow die and the die for thankful, and that cuts the outline. Now what would be fun with this, and they have other words in the style, is that you cut the outline from maybe gold foil cardstock and then pop in different colors for each of the letters. A really simple and colorful card. Okay, for a holiday card, we have Peace, Love, Hope, and Joy. And this is nice because look at how it fits perfectly in the center of an A2 card. So you could do a fun snowflake background, an inky background, and just add the die cut in the center and you're good to go. I love when dies are well designed to fit nicely at the center of a card. Okay, next we have the flipped hello die. They have thanks and a few others they've come out with before, but it's a fun way to add a sentiment onto your card. You can use the negative space on your card, or you could simply use the hello die cuts. And since it cuts 2 of each letter, you could glue those together easily for a stacked look. I like that you could put these letters anywhere on top of a layered card and have a great sentiment. Now this next die set is one that I recommend because of the many ways you can use it. This is called Thankful for You. You can cut the shadow and the word thankful and use them together, and that's what you see on the top of my card there. Or you can cut the shadow that says Thankful for You and then add the word on top of that. So you can see there are many different options you can do. You can also use just the for you. Now in tomorrow's video I have examples. Here's one where I use the Thankful for You together. And then my next one, I cut off the word thankful and just use the for and you. I was thrilled to see so many new florals in this release. All of these different flowers can be mixed together on a card. This is the Etched Crocus stems. This also has simple layering. So you can see you can slide in the small petals in the back and you get a layered look or an open look. This is a great size for an A2 card, as you can see, but also great for mini slimline or other card sizes because they are tall. I also like that there is etched detail in the petals and the leaves to add more interest. Here you can see how awesome they look in white on a colorful background, and this will be in my video tomorrow. Now my favorite of the floral stems is the etched layered daisy stem. There are 2 daisy dies that you layer together very simply, and then you have the stem. Again, it's a great size, filling the front of a card nicely, and look at the etched details. I like that the sizing is similar between all of these etched florals, so you can use them together on a card. This is the etched Meadow flower and leaves. Now these leaves are great because they can be used along with other stamps and dies too. You could even just take 2 leaf die cuts, put them in the center, put a word die cut across it, and you'll have a really quick card. So you'll be seeing me use these in future videos. Another die set I highly recommend is the new Etched Layered Daisy dies. Look at these. There's 2 dies. You just glue the 2 die cuts on top of each other, and you have a large daisy with lots of detail. Now you could color this white die cut with Copic markers and get a really beautiful blended look, but these are so big you could do fun techniques on them too. So in my video tomorrow, I'll show you how I used alcohol inks to make this flower very colorful. Next we have the Etched Primrose blooms. Now this die set is big also. You could add coloring to it with markers or paints, but what I think it would be cool for is to make an impression on your cardstock. Just do a bunch of impressed flowers on the background. I'll link to a video up here and in my description below showing how to do that. Next, we have one of my top faves from this release, and that is the Etched Tall Leaf Spray. This is a giant die. It's 7.5 inches long, so you can use it on your slimline cards, your mini slimline cards, and anything smaller too. The reason I like it is you can cut it as short or tall as you want, and it has great detail to it and will look nice with any floral die cuts or stamps. And even better, you can kind of arch or kind of twist and turn this so that it takes whatever shape you want on your card. So you can kind of put it at an angle or at a curve. Really easy to kind of manipulate to get different looks. In my video tomorrow, I'll have a couple examples using it. Here's one where I have it sticking off the top of a card, and here is another where I trimmed it down to be a smaller die cut. Next, we have a very intricate die set. This is the fine Foxglove. It cuts the stem, and then it also cuts little blooms that you can glue onto it. I love intricate dies, so this one appeals to me, and I like that it can have so much detail to it that you can keep the rest of the card very clean and simple. I think it would be beautiful to watercolor these die cuts before assembling. I'm always happy when I see a new die set that works great for lots of techniques, and this one fits that bill. This is the Ornate Leaves. There are 2 outline dies in this. I have a really cool technique I'm going to show you tomorrow that looks like a stained glass, but this would be great to make impressions on your cards. This would be great to do stamping. You could cut these from foam and stamp with them. So many ways to use them. Here's a peek at the example I'll have in tomorrow's video. Gorgeous die set. Okay, next up we have the Neighborhood die. This is a fun one that fits nicely in the center of an A2 card. And I, of course, would love to do die cut inlay with this one. So just do a negative space with white cardstock and then pop in the die cut pieces using some colorful cardstock. You could even have acetate behind it for the windows. Okay, here we have the Slide and Glide die set. If you like making slider cards or cards with interactive elements or movement, this is a good one because it has lots of different options included in it. And I'll try to showcase this in a video soon. As you know, slimline cards are very popular right now. I don't make them that much, but I do appreciate that there are slimline products available because these can be used on slimline cards, 5x7 cards, mini slimline, and the traditional A2. I like having the options. This is the slimline snowbanks, so you can use this to create a little scene along a card, and I really like this dash line that can be used in many creative ways. Here we have the paper layering circles. Mine are all still connected, but what you can do is cut each of these circles from a different color of cardstock and then layer them up on a card. You can use the negative space or the circles themselves, and it'll create a really cool tunnel look. I'm always excited to see new background dies. This is the fine Petal background plate. It's a little different than normal. It cuts those petals, but it stays connected on the bottom of each of the flowers. So you can create a really cool look. You can keep it as is, or you can pop the little flowers up a bit and put foam tape under it for dimension. In my video tomorrow, I keep it flat, but you see how the etching in that background die cut goes nicely with the etching and the die cuts I added on top. You may have also figured out from my videos that I like to use background dies that create a pierced pattern. Well, these are 2 new slimline size. These are 8.5 by 3.5. So you could use them on slimline, mini slimline, a 5x7 card, or smaller. I like having the option. Now here, this first one is the Bohemian detail plate. Look at the detail that this creates. I just cut it from regular cardstock up there. And then the other is the Petal detail plate. I like that I can cut this from a simple cardstock and use it as a background that adds a little more interest instead of just plain cardstock. Another detail plate is the new Clouds plate. This cuts 4¼ by 5.5 inches and has the detail piercing in cloud shapes. Great for the background and any scene card, and you could even color in the clouds if you want. I think it would be fun to use this on vellum too, to have the pierced detailing on vellum. Okay, now it's time for stamps. I'm just going to start out with general and then we'll get into themed. So first up, we have a lot of great sentiment stamp sets that are large. I like large sets because it fills a card nicely and works great for larger card sizes too. First, we have the XL Birthday Greetings. This is a large 6x8 stamp set. There are many different birthday greetings in here. My favorite happens to be Here's to One More Trip Around the Sun. I like how you could stamp that in the bottom right corner of a card and decorate around it. I also appreciate that there are different styles of greetings, so you can find something that goes with whatever you're creating. If you're looking for a large stamp set with large greetings that can be used for a variety of occasions, I recommend the XL Greetings 3. Lots of occasions covered in this. There are also coordinating dies available so you can cut each greeting out very closely and easily add it to a card. Here's an example that I'll show you later in this video where I used a stenciled background and added the simple sentiment to the center. Another great 6x8 stamp set is from CZ Design, and this is the Clean Line XL. Always love her clean line stamps. There are big greetings here along with smaller sentiments that work well underneath it or on the inside of your card. I do believe there will be coordinating dies available for this set also. Next, we have a great 6x8 stamp set called Printmaking Florals. This is a set that you can easily stamp together to build an image, and there are a couple ways you can do so. There are also great sentiments along the bottom. I thought I would demonstrate the stamping on this one using some of the new Simon Says Stamp saturated inks that I showed you at the beginning. I have my Misty stamping tool, and I'm starting by stamping the outline from that stamp set. You could create these florals with or without the outline. So I stamped one card with it. Now I am lining up the first flower centers, super easy to line up. And then I will ink that up with one of the Simon Says Stamp saturated inks. This is the Lemonade, and I'll stamp that on top. Now I'll bring in another piece of cardstock, one that doesn't have the outline stamped, and I'll stamp these images with yellow. So on the other cardstock piece, I'm building the florals with the outline. This one, I'm building it without the outline. You could do either way. Using the outline stamped image, I'm lining up the leaf image next. This one I'm stamping with Limalicious. I wanted to demonstrate that you can double and triple stamp these to make the color darker if you want. Here I did 2 stampings, but you don't have to. Here I'm stamping the solid one. There's one impression with that. And now we can go to the third image. This stamps the center of the flowers, and I'm stamping this with the blush on both of our pieces. Now our outline image is complete. However, this one here, we need to add the stems on. There is another image that just does the stems, and I'm stamping this with the Perfection darker green ink. So now look at those two built very quickly, and I really love these. You can decorate them however you want. I will go back to these cards later in this video and do more with them. Now there is also the Printmaking Floral Background. That's the cling stamp that you see over on the right, which coordinates nicely with this stamp set. The cool thing about this cling stamp is it comes apart. So you can stamp borders, and the borders are different, or you can arrange them however you want on your card, or keep them all together to do the whole background. Here's another printmaking stamp set, 6x8, and this does the houses very quickly. Again, you can do the houses with or without the outline. Now, I created 2 backgrounds, just like I did with the florals, but I did them with the houses instead. And again, at the end of this video, I will show you how to turn these into cards with a fun and simple technique. Now, to go along with this stamp set, there is the Printmaking Stencil. This is to be used kind of like a mask. There are openings that allow you to quickly ink in the houses, and then also an opening that allows you to create a large masked area where you can stamp the houses on top. So many different ways you can use this. I did not use the stencil today, but do know that that is an option for this particular stamp set. Another set that's on my tops list from this release is the lined leaves. So many cool techniques that you can do with this. So there is a coordinating die set for this. I also like the little sentiments there that you can easily add anywhere on a card. You could even stamp it repeatedly on a background or stamp it on a small die cut heart or circle. In the same style, there is a 6x6 cling background stamp that would go great with it, but could be used separately too. This is the Interlocking Leaves. And I think it'd be fun to white heat emboss this one on watercolor paper, and then use distress inks and maybe a little perfect pearl to paint in the image. And when you let it dry, it gets a beautiful pearlized look. And I'll link to a video demonstrating that too. Would be great with that stamp. But tomorrow I will share how to do this card where I use both that cling stamp and the clear stamp set. Now, you know I like to make teacher cards. Here we have the CZ Design Love That Student stamp set. And then there is also the A+ die set. Now, what makes this stamp set great is it talks about having a great year, like hope you have a great year, and then also it's been a great year. So you can use this set at the beginning of the school year, at the end, or throughout. Sometimes the littlest details like that can make a big difference on how much a set can be used. There are also coordinating dies available for that set. That A+, would be fun to cover a background with strips of cardstock and then die cut the A+ from it and add a quick sentiment. Here we have the 6x8 stamp set called Furry Friends with lots of cute images that would be great for coloring. But me, I'm most excited about the sentiments, those long and narrow sentiments that would be great on little stamp strips to add to your card. There are some unique greetings such as thinking of you makes me smile, wishing I could be there now, missing you so much each day, different things you can build together. So you will be seeing me use this one a lot because of those greetings. In fact, I used it here on this card, which I'll be sharing later in this video. Okay, next, here is a 6x8 stamp set called Big Day, and then a 4x6 stamp set that has the same style and can be used together separately, and it's called Dance and Twirl. Now, these little girls look so much like my little Lila, so I'm going to have fun stamping and coloring these. And I think they'd be fun for interactive cards. Like that little girl in the middle, you could have spinning on your card. I will link to a video here on how to create a spinner card. Lots of fun and playful images that are sure to make someone smile. And of course, there are coordinating dies available for both sets. Next up, we have the Painted Leaves 4x6 stamp set. Now, I think this one would be great for inking techniques. Those solid images there, you could ink up with, say, distress ink, then spritz it lightly with water and stamp it, and it'll give a stamped watercolor look. Then you just stamp the detail image on top of that. I also think these images would look beautiful just stamped and brushed with perfect pearls for a nice shine. Those technique ideas would also work well with this Happy Poinsettia stamp set. This is a very simple layering set that provides 2 different flowers and then all the little elements to go along with it and simple sentiments. I've been excited to see more companies doing really detailed stamp sets again. This is the Foxglove, and look at the detail in this image. Now, all you need to do is stamp it maybe in black on a soft colored cardstock, and you'll get crisp detail of this beautiful Foxglove image. So stamps like this don't require much as far as coloring, so you can create a card very quickly. Next, we have a fun and unique 6x8 stamp set called Raindrops, and then there are coordinating stencils available that you could use together or separately. All the different raindrops can be stamped in different ways to create texture and layering, and then there are lots of sentiments to go along with it. So this is one I think it'd be fun to stamp a bunch of the raindrops coming down, maybe overlap colorful dye ink and white pigment ink, and then use this stencil along with like a clear glitter gel to apply some sparkly raindrops too. So many creative ways you can use these together. Along the same lines, there's the Waves of Change 6x8 stamp set. Lots of great sentiments in there too. And then there is the Waves of Change stencil, which can be used together or separate. Those 3 large images in the stamp set can be stamped on top of each other for a layered look, which allows you to create a scene very quickly and easily. And of course, the stencil lines up with it too. Here's a closer look at the sentiments, a lot of encouraging sentiments for difficult times, which sadly I feel like we're in once again. So this is one that you can use to send out a lot of encouragement to loved ones. Now, if you like mixed media, the new 6x8 Document It set is one that you might be interested in. I also think it would be fun to use these as little backdrops for some of the teacher sets that I showed you earlier. Now, I've shown you some of the cling stamps in this release as they match some of the sets from earlier. Now let's look at some of the other cling stamps. This is the Peel Apart Fall Leaves. Check this out. The background stamp comes apart, so you could ink different pieces with different colors very easily, or you can just use part of the stamp, maybe to do a border on a card or a small section. Now, I like to just keep these together also and use them for quick background, as I did on this card, where I stamped it with a light brown ink as a simple backdrop. Here's another great backdrop, the 6x6 cling stamp called Ledger Paper. This would go nicely with that Document It 6x8 stamp set I just showed you a bit ago, but also would work great for any teacher or school theme cards too. I'm always a fan of geometric backgrounds. We have the hexagon background on the left and the large kaleidoscope background on the right. Now these would be fun to do an inking technique with or color in the different areas, and you could even cut out sections and pop it up to add some dimension, or cut out sections and use them for smaller backdrops too. Another that would be fun to stamp and then cut out the different parts is the Concentric Doodle background. This is a large circle stamp, and it would work great with those paper layering circle dies that I showed you earlier in this video. So you could stamp this in different colors, cut out different sections, and layer them together for something really colorful and fun. Next, we have the Scroll Flourish background stamp. Now this one is bigger than most, it's taller, so you could use it for 5x7 cards, which I'm so excited about because a lot of people like to use that size. This can be used for an ocean card or for sky or even just a simple backdrop. It's about 7.5 inches tall. I like the size and I'm hoping we see more of them. Now this brings us to some themed products. So these are like little mini collections of different themes, include some stamps, dies, stencils, and more. First up, we have some fun Halloween products. We have the creepy crawlers on the left, which would be fun with little mini Google eyes on the spiders. And then we have the spooky eyes over on the right, which would be fun with some glow-in-the-dark embossing powder. Now to go along with these backgrounds, there are the Ghouls and Trees dies. Now this cuts a fun creepy looking tree and two of the cutest little ghosts I've ever seen. Would work great with the flocking paper from Thermoweb. There's white flocking that would be fun to use for the ghosts. Now gnomes are still very popular in the card making world, and we have the Halloween Gnomies here. Lots of little gnomes in different Halloween outfits. You could use them together to create a fun scene very easily. Also, there are a lot of funny sentiments to go with them. Now available also that coordinates or could be used separately is the little Gnome Treehouse. Easy to die cut and assemble and then use as a backdrop with the Gnomies characters. Now, if I were to make Halloween cards, this would definitely be the set I'd use, the Toil and Trouble. You've got those little witches' feet up there, and you could do an interactive card where you kind of pull a tab and the feet come out of the little cauldron on the bottom, or you can just use the feet and the hat and the broomstick and create a fun card where they kind of shake, the images shake around. I'll link to a video that shows that technique if you want to try it. And the most interesting of all the Halloween products here is the window webs. Now these you can cut from the front of a card and it just creates kind of like a web window. Now this big one stretches across a card, so you could even create a card with a unique front to it like this, or use the smaller ones just on the corner. Such a fun way to add interest to a Halloween card. The last in the Halloween release here is the layered bats. These are two slimline stencils, but you can use them on smaller cards too. I think it'd be fun to do one with maybe white pigment ink over it, and then the other with some embossing paste or texture paste, and then put some of the new Tim Holtz black glitter on it. It'd be really cool for a quick and easy but impactful Halloween card. Okay, now let's look at the holiday stamps. There aren't that many in this release, but they'll be coming up in the future at Simon Says Stamp. First is this 6x8 Merry Christmas trees set. Now this one's really well thought out because you have that long cluster of trees on the left. Then you have the same individual trees over on the right that you can stamp individually. You can die cut those out and then glue them on the large cluster image so you can get some layering to it. So you can use the images together or separately to create something fun. And even better, there is a 6x6 background stamp that coordinates with this. So you can use them all together to really quickly create a Christmas card that comes together really easily. A couple more holiday stamps that are great include the Ornamental Christmas, which is on the left. It's a 4x6 stamp set. Has lots of great classic holiday greetings, and there are coordinating dies to cut out each of them. Then on the right is the Ornamental Cling, which has the same style and matches up nicely with it. Now what I want to do is die cut like a tree opening, maybe just a triangle, and then stamp that cling stamp over it. So it has those ornamental patterns in the shape of a tree. I might have to do that. Then all you have to do is add one of these simple sentiments on top and you're good to go. This next 4x6 clear stamp called Gift Wrap would really be meant for holiday, but you could use this all year round. You can stamp the little package on pattern paper and then cut it out so it looks like you have a pattern gift wrap, or you could just color in the images if you prefer. Now the winner chicken dinner award for best cling stamp definitely goes to the hand-lettered holiday background. Christina did a great job designing this. It's such a classic background that can be used with so many different styles of holiday cards. This stamped with white pigment ink on maybe like a red or craft cardstock is classic. Such a beautiful stamp, and you'll see me use this one in the future. And the last but not least for the holiday stamps is the outline ornaments. This one would be great to do some fun coloring or watercolor, but I tell you, you could just do a quick ink blended background and stamp this on top and you will get beautiful results. Okay, next for theme products, there are a few coffee themed products in this release. Here are the three, and I just wanted to show them together on a screen. First up, you have a 4x6 stamp set with lots of playful coffee greetings. My favorite is the small on the bottom that says "Half a cup on me." That is a great one to put with like a coffee shop gift card to give to a teacher or a friend. Great sentiment, but lots of other fun ones on here too. Then we have the coffee drinks background stamp, which is a fun reverse stamp, and then the coffee drinks stencil also. I like that these all can be worked together or separately so you can make the most of them. Next, we have embossing folders. In this release, there are 3 great embossing folders. These are 3-dimensional folders. That means they're thicker than most, so I will demonstrate them with a Spellbinders Platinum 6, which many people have, but you can head to Simon Says Stamp in the product description to find out how to use them with other machines. With the Platinum 6, I put in a folded piece of cardstock right on top of the platform, then the embossing folder with paper inside. Nothing else, no cutting plates needed. When I run it through, I get a pattern like this. This is the Crystal Distortion 3D embossing folder that's new. It's a fun one. Next, we have the Circle Rings embossing folder, which is really unique because check out the 2 sides. The 2 sides are very different. So it's almost like a 2-in-1 embossing folder. You get 2 very different looks from one. I use this embossing folder later in this video and again in tomorrow's video. In tomorrow's video, I also use the new Triangle Burst embossing folder. Look at the detail in that. This looks really cool, especially with specialty cardstocks, such as glossy cardstock or holographic cardstock. Speaking of holographic cardstock, this is the Rainbow Pad. This is 6 sheets of holographic rainbow cardstock. And check this out. I used one of the embossing folders on this, and look at how that captures the light. If you've never used holographic cardstock, regular or rainbow, I recommend checking it out. Simon Says Stamp has a great selection of both. Next, there are some new sentiment strips in this release. If you have never tried sentiment strips, I cannot recommend them enough. They're packs of pre-printed sentiments, and you can just cut them out and add them to your card. You can even foil them with a laminator. Now, this time they have the reverse All the Thanks and the regular All the Thanks. The reverse is the black printing and the regular is on the right. I like that they offer both, so you could use whatever would work best for your card. There are also reverse and regular available in the Merriest Christmas. So this has Christmas sentiments, and notice these are new fonts from older sentiment strips, so it's nice to have a change. And then Spooky Salutations for Halloween cards. I'm also really excited because Simon Says Stamp now has hot foil plates too. This is to use with a foiling machine such as the Spellbinders Glimmer. If you've never used the Glimmer machine, I will link to a how-to video up here on the top right that is definitely worth checking out. So they are releasing the Love Hot Foil plate on the left, which I'll demonstrate in a moment, and the Joyous Christmas Hot Foil plate on the right. Look how beautiful that would be for a simple Christmas card. There's also the large Congratulations hot foil plate for those bigger cards. Now these hot foil plates I like to use with the Spellbinders Glimmer machine. It's a great machine, and I use that with my Spellbinders Platinum. I put the hot foil plate onto the hot portion of the Glimmer machine once it's all warmed up. Then I lay my foil down on it pretty side down, then a piece of cardstock on top. Then I put the shims that the machine comes with and I press the timer button. When the timer light stops flashing, I know it's ready to take out and run through my platinum machine. So the glimmer machine provides the heat. My platinum die cut machine provides the pressure. And check out the beautiful foiling results. You need to use special foil for this, the one that is assigned to go with the glimmer machine. If you have a different die cut machine, there are other machines that might work with it. The foiling is just beyond fun to do. Next, we have the Mini Slimline Falling Dots Hot Foil Plate. This is great for slimline cards, and look at that beautiful snowfall pattern. This would be great for a party card too. Just add a balloon die cut and sentiment and you're good to go. But my favorite of the new hot foil plates is definitely the Falling Leaves hot foil plate. This is a longer one, but you can use it on a smaller A2 card as I'm showing here. If you want to use it on a longer slimline card, you will have to run it through your machine twice. You'll have to do it once up like this. Then after you run it through and do the whole process, you'll just shift it up and run it through again, and it'll foil beautifully. And I demonstrate that in my video tomorrow. So stay tuned for that if you want to see that. These foiling plates are a great way to add foil to your projects, but you can also use them to make an impression or do a faux letterpress on your cards with ink. If you have never seen that done, I'll link to a video up here on the top right. And here is a peek at the card I do tomorrow using the Falling Leaves. Okay, now it's time to look at the new stencils in this release. There are just a few, but I have shown a few throughout the video too. First up is the Mini Slimline Masking Stencil Set. So these are sets that are designed to use to create masked backgrounds. And this is specific for a mini slimline card. And mini slimline cards are usually 6 3/4 inches by 3 1/4 inches. So these 3 stencils allow you to mask off a rectangle in the center. And there are little guidelines engraved on it to help you line it up just right. It's kind of hard to see in the video, but in real life, they're pretty obvious. There are also the center pieces with guidelines on it. So you could do a masked border around your card instead if you prefer. These are excellent, especially for one-layer cards. Now, my favorite product in the stencil category from this release is the Leaves Wreath Layering Stencils. Now, this is kind of similar in style to a floral wreath that Simon came out with before, and I did a technique video of stamping over a stencil, and I'll link to that video here. It would work great with this stencil set too. This is beautiful because you can just ink over one and then ink over the other and have a very quick and beautiful one-layer background. You could spice it up by using texture or glitter paste and adding little gems. Now, last but not least, we have this great layering stencil set called Stepped Back Blocks. There are 4 stencils in this set, and you can use them all together or just 2 or 3 or use them individually. It's a great way to create a really colorful background, and I thought I'd demonstrate with this, although I won't use the 4th stencil. So I'm just using Distress Oxide inks with this on white cardstock. You could use absolutely any inks you want for this. I like to use oxides because they blend great. I'm also using the newer Simon Says Stamp blending brushes. I like these because they're white bristles. The handles are color-coded, and the brushes have just so many soft bristles to them that it's great for blending. So for the second one, I used Twisted Citron. This third one, I'm using Abandoned Coral. You can see you can quickly build a colorful background. Sorry I'm doing it so fast, but I wanted to make sure to share everything. Now, the technique I wanted to share with you today is using an embossing folder on your inked or stamped backgrounds. It's a fun way to add additional texture. Look at that. I used the circle embossing folder on top of our stenciled background, and you get beautiful texture. Now, remember these panels I stamped earlier in the video? I used another of the new embossing folders on it, and I have these 2 backgrounds. Remember, embossing folders have a kind of a front and a back, and you get different looks from both. The one on the left has more detail to it. The one on the right is a little softer. That's the back side. You can use both. So let's look at more examples of this and completed cards. Remember when I did these printmaking floral examples earlier? I did the embossing folder on them, and look at this cool texture. I did all of the stamping first, then when completed, I used the embossing folder. It adds so much interest to this simple card. Then I put it on a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch top folding note card. And I did the exact same thing with the other example too. This is the version where I stamped the outline. I again used that circle dot embossing folder to add a lot of interest and texture to it. It's kind of like an optical illusion. If you tilt it one way, you just see the stamping. If you tilt it another way, you see more of the texture. It's really fun and a great way to make your card special. By the way, that thanks is from the XL Greeting 3 stamp set that I showed you at the beginning of this video. Now the house pieces that I stamped earlier, I used the embossing folder on those also to add some interest. Here I'm using an Arteza White Gel Pen to add details also, little dots on the roof of these stamped images. That's definitely my new white gel pen, and I'll link to that below too. I added a white heat embossed sentiment on a black cardstock strip right across it, and then you can see the embossing folder texture that we put to this. A fun way to make this simple card a little more interesting. And then here is the other one. Again, I added a sentiment strip. That's from the Furry Friends stamp set. And this is all on a 4 1/4 by 5.5 inch note card. So if you have a simple one layer card design, try using an embossing folder on it just to add a little interest. You still can see your images just fine, no problems, but you have that extra special element to it. And here is the stenciled background that we did. Again, I used the embossing folder on that. I added a sentiment to the center, along with some die-cut holographic stars. Die-cutting small little shapes from holographic cardstock is a great way to add faux embellishments to your cards, and it grabs the light nicely and draws interest. The sentiment is from the XL Greetings 3 stamp set, and the little stars is from a Simon Says Stamp Mini Stars Party die that came out quite a while ago. All right, there you have it, a jam-packed video with lots of products, lots of ideas, some inspiration. I really hope that this was time well spent for you and that you learned a thing or two. Again, stay tuned. I will have a new video soon showing a technique with a lot of these products. If you are interested in anything, I have it linked below, and I link videos below too. But I encourage you to instead click my supply list link at the top. That'll pull up thumbnails of all the products, making it very easy to find what you want. Or you can click over to my blog where I have much more, including those thumbnail supplies and that ink swatch that I mentioned at the beginning. Thank you for watching. I hope you have a great Stamptember, and we'll see you soon with many more ideas.